Welcome everyone to the Tonkin Legal Group, home of the Australian Family Law Podcast, the AFLP. Definitely not the official home of the official AFL podcast in terms of footy. It's your boy again, Joe, here hosting episode number 6, believe it or not. It is flying the time. Charlie, it's just you and I today, mate. How are we feeling about
Just
this?
just the two of us. Feeling good, feeling up and about, and very upbeat after what was a enjoyable round of footy for myself and my beloved
Absolutely.
D's. How are you
Yep.
feeling?
Mate, I thought we'd lose by 100 points. Next thing we know, the Bulldogs did not even score 100 points themselves. So I'm taking that as
Yeah,
an absolute win. A beautiful Easter weekend, long weekend. Happy Easter to all those who celebrate. Hope you had a wonderful long weekend if you partook. And geez, I'm so glad we did get that long weekend because yesterday's game, that Easter Monday clash between the Hawks and the Cats, was just unreal. Did you manage to catch that game at all?
I did. I watched most of it. Those two teams just tend to have absolute blockbusters, don't they? I
Yeah.
think something like the last 10 to 12 Easter Mondays have been decided by under 2 goals. I
Yep.
might have just made up that figure, but it feels that way anyway. So, yeah, incredible game. I tipped the Hawks, so
Same.
very happy with the outcome in the end. But yeah, no, it was a cracking game. I thought.
Oh, gee, I thought Mabior Chol almost chocked it, unfortunately, with a couple of those misses. But he's a stat for you. 95% of the game was apparently the margin was single digits for 95%
Huge.
of the game with 11 lead changes. So that
Oh,
is an all-time classic of a match.
it's an all-time classic. You'd struggle to find many other games closer than that one. So no, absolute blockbuster. I think they'll both be there in the finals, unfortunately. So, but some other pretty close games as well. There was the Freo Adelaide game,
Yep,
which I got the tip for as well. So that was a finals like blockbuster.
it
Um,
was.
Alex Pearce with the match-saving smother.
Riley O'Brien with the match losing kick straight into Sean Darcy on the mark. Oh,
He's
that
good
was
at that, Riley.
unbelievable. Oh, that was unbelievable. Yes, that I was on the right side of that tip as well.
Yeah,
With Josh Tracy with ice in the veins to kick that winning goal from the pocket. Yeah, there was
yeah,
some absolute really good results. There were a couple of other blowouts. I mean, Good Friday was a
yeah,
pretty close game as well, just to add further
yeah.
pressure on the Blues and on Vossi.
It was very eerily similar to, well, pretty much every one of their games this season for the Blue Baggers. So they just get themselves into a winning position and then they forget how to win, I think, in summary. So
Yeah.
yeah, not too confident for poor old Vossi. I think the halfway point of the season is looming like D-Day for him, unfortunately. But we'll have to wait and see. They might be able to miraculously turn it around, but I don't have a whole lot of faith, unfortunately.
No, it seems that they're running out of faith as well. With things, the reporting coming out that it's not a question of if, it's now more so a question of when he is
Yeah,
given his marching orders. And I think that's also the case for in a lot of times, not necessarily in terms of sacking, but in terms of
yeah,
timelines and putting things into place, looking forward into the future. Sort of links in a little bit to what we want to talk about today with parenting arrangements in particular, looking ahead and, for example, things like this Easter long weekend. And now a lot of all the schools, I think, have got, a 2 week
mm,
holiday at the moment. And what sort of parenting arrangements look like when it comes to
mm,
these special occasions, these holidays, birthdays, and things of that nature. So we'll be trying to simplify that and to give people an idea of how to go about organizing their parenting arrangements.
mm. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, yeah, when we talk about, you know, Easter holiday period or any holiday or special occasion, the first question is, is there an agreement in place? So whether or not that's an informal agreement or a parenting plan or alternatively whether there's court orders in place, and that can be by consent between the parties, or it might be by way of a court ruling, or court orders. So that's really the starting point. And then if there isn't an agreement, then I guess the next step down is, well, what's in the best interest of the children, which is paramount, as we know, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the paramount consideration of the court when it comes to any type of parenting arrangement, if it's in the child's best or children's best
Mm,
interests. And if there is no agreement at
mm,
that stage, it's always best to just start planning and speaking about it
yep,
early on. Don't leave it as a last minute thing. Certainly,
mm,
parents are very much encouraged by the court where it's safe to do so to
mm,
participate in co-parenting and to
yep,
participate in these discussions, so that, because I mean the science is in, for the most part, really, that children that have both mum and dad in their lives tend to come out ahead. So where possible, it's always great for these
mm,
children to be spending some time between
yep,
both parents, and to get those communications really
yep.
flowing early. And I know you mentioned, whether it be a court order or a parenting plan, what would you say really is the main, I suppose, differences between those two, Charlie?
Yeah, well, I guess a parenting plan, the important thing to know is it's not legally binding, so not enforceable by way of the courts. And it doesn't mean that it's worthless. I mean, it's still better than nothing. It shows, what the parents' intentions were with regard to parenting arrangements for the children, and then obviously court orders, while they're legally enforceable through the courts. So they're legally binding parenting arrangements, which can be enforced if there is a breach of the orders. So we always advise clients, if they have an informal or a verbal parenting plan in place, well, why not formalize it, so you've got that peace of mind and certainty that you have recourse to actually enforce those orders if needed.
Yeah, exactly right. Because if someone was to not stick to that parenting
Mm,
plan, and sort of withhold the child
yep,
or children, as opposed to having them be ready for collection at the agreed upon time, you can't
yep,
simply call up the cops, for example, or make a complaint somewhere simply saying, oh, they've breached my parenting plan. They'll
yep,
tell you, go and get legal advice. You need to take this matter to court, or
yep,
you need to get lawyers to be able to
yeah,
negotiate this for you. And
yep,
that's, again, sort of part of the reason why it's really good to get those discussions started early. Obviously,
yep,
now, whilst the Easter holidays or the term one holidays are upon us, it's probably a little bit
yep.
too late. But hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And it's certainly possible, though, that where you've missed out on some time, there is the possibility of make-up time, right, Charlie?
There is definitely. So when we discuss parenting arrangements, particularly for example, Easter time, there might have been an agreement between the parents that one parent takes the children on a holiday for 1 week or 2 weeks for the duration of the school holiday period, and then I guess the non-traveling parent has make-up time at a later date that's agreed between the parents. So yeah, I mean, provided that it's in the child's best interest, it's generally recommended for the child, obviously, to spend time with both parents, depending on a number of factors. Obviously, if there's any risk considerations, or things like the age of the child, these are things that we always need to factor in. But some kind of arrangement over the Easter period, when we look at, or when we talk about what it may look like in practice, it could be that one parent has the children from Good Friday until Easter Sunday, and then the other changeover takes place on the Sunday, and the other parent has the child up until Easter Monday, and then alternating on a yearly basis. I mean, that's a basic type of arrangement, but that's, I guess, one approach in which the arrangements might look like.
Yeah, exactly right. And then you've got other types of special occasions, like a Mother's Day or a Father's Day, for example, that might come around, and you might have parenting orders, or you might have a parenting plan where you're just simply following a fortnightly arrangement. But you can certainly make certain provisions for a Mother's Day where, given that it's not a normal weekend, you can suspend, time with father, or vice versa. If
Mm,
it's child's with the mother and Father's Day is coming up, it's something quite special, being able to celebrate a Father's or a Mother's Day on in the morning, and have that sort of breakfast in bed type arrangement. And again, whatever the parents are able to reach an agreement on in relation to what they believe will be best for the children, in terms of spending time together and sharing those special occasions. It's certainly something that is
Mm,
recommended, advised, and encouraged. Of course, as we always say, where it is safe to do so and in the children's best interests. And I mean, that sort of really covers a lot of the parenting. Parenting tends to be quite, I suppose, fluid.
mm,
It's not quite as straightforward
yeah.
as property matters, where there is a certain process that needs to be followed, and where things are out of court. As much as we
Mm.
try to recommend that to happen with mediations, wherever there is dispute, to try and resolve those through family dispute resolution.
Exactly right. And I mean, mediation can be a great starting point to try and implement or obtain a parenting plan. So if
Yeah.
you parents want to go to a mediation and reach an agreement on 90% of the issues, then that's a huge start. And that agreement can then be fine-tuned with the assistance of lawyers if needed. And we can assist in preparing an application for consent orders to try and formalise that arrangement. So yeah, I guess a number of ways that you can try and resolve these sorts of parenting matters. It just really depends on your particular situation.
Exactly right. Thank you so much for that, Charlie. That was, I think, a very well summed up episode. I will need your sum up, though, in terms of who you think is going to win between our two teams this weekend at Gather Round.
It is D-Day, isn't it? Between the, pardon the pun, between the D's and the Bombers this weekend. Look, I said to you earlier today that I'm a little bit worried because we're in a little bit of form at the moment, and then the Bombers are kind of, you're due a win. We'll put it that way. I think it's going to happen at some point. So that said, I'll be tipping the D's, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Bombers caused a bit of an upset.
Yeah, look, it's Adelaide Oval is a bit of a happy
Yeah,
hunting ground for us especially against your mob, having beaten
last
us
two
to
years.
Gather Round. That's
Yeah,
exactly right. So, but I think with the way the Bombers are going, breaking records from a negative perspective, North Melbourne beating us for the first time in 10 years a couple of weeks back.
yeah,
It's becoming a little bit, not quite dire,
yeah,
but we're,
yeah,
we're certainly ripe for the picking if you want to break your voodoo. So I'm definitely tipping Melbourne here, to win this weekend. G Maxi Gorn
yeah.
is just aging like fine wine at the moment. It's quite remarkable.
It's crazy. I don't think anyone, even D's fans, expected his form to be as good as it is at the moment. He's almost career best form still. So it's scary. So good luck to your man Blackiston on the weekend.
Mate, my boy Blackiston, but you gotta watch out. Blackiston went up against Tristan Sherry, got him suspended for 3 weeks. He's suspended, and then he goes up against English, and then English goes down with an
True.
injury. So you got to make sure that all the sage is being lit at Gosh's paddock for Maxi Gorn this week. And if you are going to be going to Gather Round, or you haven't decided to go yet, I went there last year. Absolute must have, must bucket list tick sort of experience. It was wonderful going out to South Australia, and if you're contemplating it, I highly recommend it. So there you go, Charlie. Have you gone yet, or are you still
I
planning on
haven't. No,
going?
I need to go. It's definitely on my bucket list. I was
Yeah.
just going to say I'm very surprised that somehow our two teams have managed to still maintain a spot at Adelaide Oval, and they haven't palmed us off to the Barossa Valley or somewhere hidden away where not many eyes can watch the game.
Well, I guess the perks of not being a big four club like Essendon, right? So, oh,
Me
Jack
knows
Rewalt,
we are.
Jack Rewalt, you're a bunch of them. You're a muppet, mate. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed listening or hearing us today, please like, subscribe on YouTube, and hit the notification bell to not miss out on each of our episodes. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please rate us with 5 stars. Will greatly help our outreach to get this to more and more people so that they can find out more about family law and sort of have it be demystified for them by comparing it to our beloved sport of footy. Thank you once again, Charlie, as always, for joining me.
Nah, my pleasure. Thanks, Joe.
All right, guys, we'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.